how well M3 scaled, and there was too narrow a window for them to really get ahead in this one. And you see, once again, same bans coming through from both teams.
Yeah, and it's a lot more time as well when you lose from pick and ban, because you have to spend the entire game thinking about the fact that, yeah, that pick and ban was awful, but you're exactly right. Back into the pick ban phase, thick and fast. Civ are going to be banned away from RNG this time around. Callista going to be the answer from M3, so not quite as many bans towards Dade.
And a blue size Rise ban, wow.
Let me just not wanting to play it.
Yeah, doesn't want to pick it up there. Xiaohu not a fan of it in the mid lane either, hasn't seen it in there. And that's a lot of respect given to Looper up there in the top lane.
Oh, yeah. And RNG might just have a different idea. Might want to first pick away the Gragas. Understand that Condi definitely wanting to grab that champion, not going to have it this time around.
Gragas or Azir will be the ban coming through here from M3. You have to think. And it is Azir that gets taken off the board.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to pick up instead. Whether he just thinks, okay, Nautilus will be fine, but he's going to be Victor the consideration now for Xiaohu in the mid lane. Dangerous to pick your mid this early on, but when you are blue side, you're not able to get that counter pick in. It does make a little bit more sense over this side of the rift. But
yeah, it's also
leaving the Gragas, man.
Control mages were all taken away. So, you know, you got Azir, you got Cassiopeia, they're gone. Victor, the last one remaining. That's what Dade has shown that he prefers to play right now. And you're right, it leaves the Gragas up, but it will give Xiaohu at least priority in this mid lane.
Yeah, we'll see whether he can use it to great effect as well this time around. RNG looking to try and tie this series up with M3. Alistar and Gragas, though, two massively high-powered picks for this team, especially for this team, because Love City loves to get on the cow, and of course, we just saw Condi pick up an MVP.
Yeah, Condi really does excel on Gragas. We've been through it, but let's talk about Alistar. Great in a lane swap situation. If you put together a kill lane, has a lot of prowess down there as well. Very tanky. It means that you can go slightly squishier in the top lane and still have Condi and Looper running around, and Love CD running around as these big tanks. And as soon as I see any team with Dade and they lock in 2 knockups first up, I just automatically think Yasuo.
Automatically pray for Yasuo.
Pray for Yasuo.
But on the other side of the rift, RNG, they're going to take us on a magical journey as the pony's locked in as well as Bard. So look, definitely with some ideas on their side of the rift. And look, you said that they've got to mix it up. They most certainly are.
Yeah, and look, Hecarim let me second most played champion up there in the top lane, I believe. Able to get in, run around, and cause a lot of havoc. Is going to go teleport smart, so we'll be beefier, more of that scaling late game Hecarim as opposed to the assassin pony that takes Ignite and just tries to trod all over your AD carry. And it looks like once again SMLZ going to default back to Caitlyn now that Civ is banned away.
Yeah, a lot of extra range, as well as the fact that just a ridiculous lane bully on that side. And Shyvana is going to be locked in for Looper as well. This is exciting. We saw Flandre experimenting with this particular thing. Flame actually trying that one out as well with the Smite teleport. But into the horse, the guy that just arguably does it better.
Yeah, so definitely team fights better Hecarim, but I'm not going to say split pushes better. Very hard to keep Shyvana down, and the frustrating thing is, as soon as she disappears, you know she's in your jungle because she just farms it so incredibly quickly. And it looks like they're going to swap it up here. Maybe send Hecarim into the jungle and go with the Fizz top lane. Definitely a better duelist in the 1v1. Or it could be a Fizz mid. No.
Or a Fizz jungle. MLXG has done some interesting things in the jungle.
He hasn't played Fizz yet.
Yeah, he hasn't, but he's done a whole lot of other stuff. Wouldn't put it past him.
Nah, definitely would not. I play it a lot in solo queue, but, you know, don't take my word for it.
I didn't know it was you playing today. Wow, you got a bit of a commute to get to the game.
Yeah, trust me. Sleepless night. BRB, Sydney to China in 16 seconds.
Oh my goodness, though. Dade was considering for a moment the Zed. And look, we probably shouldn't be talking about hovers here, but more than happy to have a discussion about the Zed if you'd like to there, Spawn.
No, I don't want to. I want to talk about Twisted Fate because this is another throwback champion.
Oh my goodness. We're going back to Season 3 Worlds, was it?
Oh, Dade's played. Yeah, he's a legacy Twisted Fate player. Played it for a very long time. You're talking about Ozone when he was able to pick it up there, but also played it a lot last year. And he was the guy that popularized Kog'Maw Twisted Fate, double mobility summoner spells. That's why we see a lot of Ghost Flash coming out of him. And against Xiaohu, going to be ridiculously safe. Sit at long range, throw out those the wild cards, make sure he's just shoving the lane, and try and impact the rest of the map. Because realistically, you can't push Victor in, and he's suicide to try and 1v1 against.
Yeah, but I just want to talk about M3's draft phase, because the last draft, phenomenal. The fact that they could all climb on top of Dade, utilize the fact that there's the Hemo Plague there for these amazing team fights. Now they have one of the best split pushing comps I've ever seen.
Yeah, they certainly do. Able to get into Looper's lane as he's going there, change things into 2v2. With that pick right there, Dade has picked up Twisted Fate. Xiao, who going to be going with Victor, they threw a lot of priority on him, and he needs to win the laning phase.
Yeah, he does. And he's got the extra range there on the Death Ray, but of course, Dade with the consistent CC, the fact that you're never going to be able to get away from a gold card once it's launched at you, definitely something that can be utilized if there is going to be more ganks from Condi. And we saw Condi in the last game, MVP performance, able to get around the map like nobody's business, and we'll see whether he's going to be paying a lot of visits to the mid lane.
Yeah, and once again, they go with this magic damage comp. Shyvana, very magic damage heavy top lane. Gragas, Twisted Fate means that SMLZ, once again, this time on the long range Caitlyn, going to have a field day auto-attacking priority targets. And if M3 can get rolling, you're right, their split push comp, the ability to scale, still there. It's going to be a very tough game coming through for RNG.
Yeah, and RNG probably didn't want that situation, but without further ado, let's get onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for RNG versus M3. Game number 2 here for our third matchup of the evening. M3 able to take the first one in, look, emphatic fashion would be how our friend Spawn would definitely describe it, as Burnout going to be used from Looper to get away from a couple of members of RNG here in the top side of the map. More wards cleared out. They've actually killed 2.
So they need to get the lane swap here, RNG, because they've got a Vayne into a Caitlyn lane, which has historically been bad during the laning phase. As soon as Vayne gets a Blade of the Ruined King, more than happy to 1v1 the Caitlyn, of course. Hecarim and Shyvana both farm incredibly well, and I guess the last pick we need to touch on is the fact that it is a Fizz jungle, so have to see how MLXG builds this one. I'm thinking it will be a Brawler Fizz with the Cinderholt coming through, practically what we see in the top lane. Maybe a late Trinity Force for some extra damage, but always the potential to go Magus and just destroy someone.
I would be very excited for that, of course. MLXG, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be this guy. Did like to play the Nidalee, of course. Is used to at least finding Magus in the shop. So we'll see whether he does it this time around. I have a feeling he's probably not, though.
Yeah, probably just going to go tanking.
Boring.
Let me MLXG. They'll be able to start on 2 different camps because MLXG, he does the Krog completely fine. And it will be the 2v2 lane here.
Lay just getting some aggressive Brad action onto the cow. Dade looking to lock in some cards onto Jahu, just shoving out this lane as much as he can early on.
Yeah, Twisted Fate's one of those champions that you cannot fall behind level-wise, so you need to continue to shove out with cards at level 1. See if you can get that level advantage, because you don't want to be shoved in.
Unfortunately locks the red card. Going to lose a bit of mana from that one, but MLXG now at level 2, half health, moving into the enemy jungle, of course. We are going to have topsy-turvy laning, but Condi might find himself without a red buff.
Yeah, MLXG going for the aggressive invade early on. This time, probably not going to fall down. Fizz is a really quick jungler, by the way. His W, especially to those large camps, does work early game.
Yeah, and he's got the Gromp buff there as well, so MLXG going to have a little bit of an easier time taking that one down. It is going to be the Raptors taken from Condi. Is MLXG just going to trickster over the wall, pick up maybe some Krogs, actually decides not to.
He's just
going to head back to base.
Yeah. Oh, he is doing them, actually. He just smart.
Yeah, hanging out. Picks himself up a Krog buff as well, so he's going to be able to go back after
That's
denying
that
counter
jungling done. The top half of the jungle gutted for Condi. He's going to have to go through, clean up all the little creeps, but right now, this is what we're used to seeing out of Vayne versus Caitlyn. Caitlyn just shoving in, making sure she's using the headshot proc to chip Wushin down, and it really is up to Bard to keep Wush healthy.
Yeah, and Wush actually with a little bit more sustain there, considering the fact that Bard is in the lane, but Triumph and Raw going to be helping SMLZ stay healthy at the same time, so Wush...
I would actually say that Alistair sustains better than Bard, not because he heals more, but just because it's a lot less mana. He can stay level 1, Triumphant Roar, and spam it out as minions die, whereas Bard takes so much mana, particularly early game, to get your AD carry back in a position to fight.
Where does Condi find all this farm, Spawn? Because he's now 10 ahead.
Well, he took 3 little raids, 2 little red buffs.
Yeah, that's true.
5.
Bunch of Cinderlings.
So half of them are just useless.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, MLXG is going to be taking his own blue buff now by the looks of things. He's going to be able to take that one down now. Looking for a gank in the top side of the map. Does have level 3 now as well.
That is the most terrifying sight ever, by the way. When you want to trade with a Caitlyn and she shoots you once and then gets a headshot proc, you're like, nope.
Yep.
I do not want to trade anymore. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, Magical Journey being looked for here by RNG. Is Playful Trickster from LPL going to get him towards M3, but look, it was a lot of abilities and stuff, but nothing really happened.
Yeah, very well scouted gang coming through there. Able to get away from it. As we take a visit to the bottom lane for the first time, Hecarim versus Shyvana. Shyvana started with the Doran's Blade. Lupa actually maxing E, so wants to be able to fight Let Me. Also does jungle camps very quickly with E, especially the big ones like Grom.
Well, Jahu actually looking for Dade here as MLXG finds his way in. Condi's here as well, so MLXG actually decides against it. Gold card lands as Dade uses that Ghost in order to get himself into a better position, but both of these mid and jungle just going to be moving away. MLXG actually still playing aggressively. Goes over the edge to look for Condi. There's the Urchin Strike as well, as he's getting a lot of damage down with the passive. There's the gold card. MLXG not going to be able to trickster out of that one, but he's going to have it back up again. MLXG, we know that he's aggressive, but man, that was pretty mental. There's the headbutt pulverize onto Whoosh, though, who's going to tumble out of the way of the Peacemaker. Nice work there. But SMLZ still sort of winning the trade by accident more than anything else. Caitlyn is just a pretty horrendous laner.
She's oppressive, is exactly what she is. She's able to get in your face at all points of the game. It's just the range that comes through. It's not even, wow.
Okay, missed the headbutt.
Alistair, he's got the funniest animation after he casts a spell, because if you miss it, it honestly looks like he gets really mad and starts stomping the ground in disgust at himself.
Yeah.
As another gank coming through onto Xiaohu.
Yeah, he's moved a little bit far forward here as well. Gold card is going to land as he immediately cleanses it. Moves out of the way of the wild card, sorry. Gets himself a shield, and actually he's going to be fine. But
yeah, summon a spell expended for just a gold card, though, and Dade continues to be shoved in here. Needs to be careful he doesn't get dove.
Yeah, it's a 6 CS advantage here for Xiaohu as well, so really sort of having his way with this lane this time around. Condi going to get spotted. Ward over the wall going to be cleared with that Raptor buff.
Once again.
Oh man, this Wolf Spirit's like, he's there again, boys.
So I like that smite. People, when you look at Wolf Spirit, it on paper doesn't seem, it doesn't seem to give you the same amount as what other buffs do, but if you're invading, very good to keep tabs on the other jungler, and if you're being continually aggressed on, gives you a lot of room to not have to waste wards in your jungle, but tell you when you are being invaded like that by an overly aggressive fish.
Yeah, or at least a fishy person there, as SMLZ is going to get maneuvered away as well. Nice use of the Playful Trickster from MLXG, dodges the headbutt, but once again, M3's bottom lane in the top lane just going to wander away.
But eventually this is going to start wearing thin, because you can see he's already falling behind in levels. He's started to fall behind in the farm as well. So he's trying to get aggressive and start winning out on lanes. But Condi's just taking his jungle every time he does it.
Yeah, MLXG now going to be able to take away a Grump, so that's one more bit of farm. That's a big one though, so I guess helpful there. The numbers going to skew that just a little bit, but not going to be enough here as MLXG once again just hasn't quite managed to pick up the farm button.
Yeah, so 19 behind. You know, we mentioned it when it was 10, but right now that is actually a big deal. And Let Me gonna be dope.
Yeah, there's the ultimate. Destiny comes through. Let Me heads back under the turret again, but
finds a Gragas for himself. He's like, I don't want to be on either side of this.
Yeah, he's got the Onslaught of Shadows. Does get a Fear under the tower here as M3 going to take a lot of tower bolts, but Let Me then just teleports from the brush. Not going to be able to do anything as the gold
picks it up with a straight E.
Yeah, cute little Flame Breath. Going to lock down the kill. Xiaohu just going to be able to shove up this mid wave, but a little bit less than he'd want as far as that first blood is concerned, and that goes down to Lupa.
Yeah, now going for a roam on the top side. Remember, SMLZ's flash was burned. They must know he's on the way here, not backing out. Xiaohu going to be able to get behind the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're looking to try and get the kill onto Whoosh here, as well as another headbutt and the pulverize from Love City. Headbutts over. There's the stun on the wall, though, as the Condemn goes in. Whoosh locks down the kill. Love City doesn't have the ult just yet, and the teleport was cancelled from Lupa.
Yeah, so not able to get in there and affect anything with a counter gate. Great play coming through from RNG. Layering of CC just meant he was going nowhere. And that's the danger when you burn a summoner spell and continue to play aggressively. That were made pay.
Yeah, Lupa now does have himself that Cinder Hulk, as Whoosh going to get knocked into the air, but not going to be too worried about that one. The Dragon Lady going to help out.
Love CD was just holding the wave for Lupa there, making sure it didn't hit the turret. They have gone back to the bottom side of the map. Now the Dragon is a little bit more relevant at this part of the game. And Lupa even stops Vayne's back, so Whoosh going to be stuck in the top lane a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's going to wander under the turret. Tumbles there as well, so he's going to be able to head back to base.
But that's probably like half a wave of farm that he's just being cost, maybe 10 seconds more. He was kept up there, and MLXG finally caught back up in farm. Going to hand off this blue buff to Xiaohu.
Well, caught back up in farm is an interesting way to describe it, but most definitely not feeling as bad as he was. Looks to be going towards that Cinder Hulk as well, depressingly, for our love of the Magus enchantment. It is definitely good, but look, it's not as fun.
Cooldown reduction just means that you can keep your W up even more, and it's just such an impressive farming tool, especially if you have any form of attack speed coming through there. And we're just going to have SMLZ trying to freeze out this lane, respecting the fact that he doesn't have summoner spells this time around.
And MLXG once again looking for a gang. Hasn't had his way with anything just yet, as it was the mid laner that came up to pick up the last one. Aggressive
item build actually coming out of Dade here, going for a Sheen first up. No cooldown reduction, no extra ring, means that he's relatively squishy. MLXG going to look for him here.
And looking to head over the wall. Condi's going to show himself first as Yahoo's coming down. There's the fish onto the Fat Man as Dade tries to get the gold card. Lands on MLXG, who's relatively low on mana, but they trade a few spells. Not going to get too much more, but Condi blows his flash.
Yeah, Condi had to use flash. MLXG uses the fish in that one, so means that maybe not as much gank pressure going to come out of Fizz at this point in the game. Dade probably happy that his jungler was there to absorb that one for him, and looks like Whoosh just struggling to get any form of farm. 20 CS behind SMLZ. Hasn't picked up the Blade of the Ruined King yet.
He was only behind by 4 when they left the top lane. It was the fact that that backwards stop really has hindered this Vayne's progress in this game. Let me, though, definitely farming okay. Actually, as I look at it, 99 CS for Lupa. Shyvana definitely doing her job.
You can't deny Shyvana farm. That's just impossible. She does this. She attacks you and then gets all the creeps in the wave. What an annoying champion.
The nerf. And also, I believe, had a Grom buff as well, unless that was Let Me. I have a feeling it might have been, as M3 now going to start themselves up a Dragon. Looks like another day in the office for this team, as they're almost 2,000 gold ahead. With only 2 kills down here, no turrets destroyed as well. It's just M3 farming better, playing this game out better.
And Letme's had enough of it. He's trying to force Lupa off any farm right now. He's like, stop doing jungle creeps. You're getting too far ahead in experience. You see it's a level 10 to a level 8, which is even more impressive than the CS, honestly, because that's harder to come back from. Lupa going to continue to run circles around this Hecarim.
Yahoo once again looking for a pick onto Dade here as he moves around. There's the Chaos Storm immediately flashed there, but Chum the Waters lands onto Dade, and MLXG is going to be able to pick that one up. So the first kill credit for this Fizz is going to be on the mid laner.
Yeah, see whether he can get anything rolling from here. They really committed to that one, by the way. Dade with a great predictive flash, able to get out of the Chaos Storm, but nothing else going his favor. And Fizz, as I said, with the max W, execute damage coming through just means that very good at getting those ganks off early game.
Yeah, Condi going to absorb this minion wave as it heads to the mid lane turret, so not going to be able to get any extra pressure there as Yahoo. With that cleanse back available now as well, not as afraid of these gold cards. Whoosh now with a level advantage after taking the little Krugs in the bottom, the Krugs in the bottom side of the map. He's going to be fine. Let me actually blows. No, it doesn't actually. That was Lupa. Throws down a smite just for the fun of it. Shyvana needs no help farming this one out, and he's now 30 CS in the lead.
Yeah, so continuing to build that advantage coming through here, Lupa. See whether he goes for something aggressive like a Blade of the Ruined King or whether he goes tanky. Does look like he is going towards the tank build. Picks himself up a Ruby Crystal as well as Ninja Tabby at this part of the game.
Yeah, Ninja Tabby as well, just a fantastic item for a Shyvana because you want to be moving around the map. You want to be grabbing all the camps that you can, and it's actually going to help you jungle a little bit more effectively as well.
Yeah, it's actually the best jungle item in the game, apart from the 3 that you build out of Machete, because it just makes camps do no damage to you. As cute use of the Q there gets Yahoo enough movement speed to poke out Dade with the laser beam.
Yahoo definitely no stranger to the Victor play here, as he's able to lock down that cannon creep as well. As got a few visitors in his mid lane, and they're going to turn actually going in aggressive one more time. Shows no fear on this Fizz whatsoever, does MLXG. Let me trying to clear out this minion wave, but Lupa just relentlessly shoving, and you can see that twin bite just doing so much work on that turret.
Yeah, just chipping it away one little bit at a time. It will eventually fall. In fact, Let Me just going to give it up on this minion wave, and Lupa, not only has he got 30 CS, he's going to pick up his turret in a 1v1 lane at 14 minutes.
Yeah, of course, a lot of effort was put in by SMLZ. There's a Destiny to come down. MLXG going to get caught up. The fish goes down onto Dade's. Tempered Fate comes in as well. Blocks a whole lot of that damage. Dade's going to fall immediately. M3 getting this turned around on Chaos Storm on top of Love CD, but more importantly, Condi's going to fall down. Onslaught of Shadows onto SMLZ as Lemmy's just going to destroy him. Uses the heal, but a double kill for Whoosh on the bottom side of the map, and 3 members of M3 are dead.
And it looked like Lei had really messed that up with the Tempered Fate coming through there. Actually stopped MLXG's ultimate from affecting anything, but in the end it just didn't matter. Let me there a little bit earlier than Looper. They clean up 3 kills, 2 of them onto Vayne, who had finished up that Blade of the Ruined King, so it was definitely fight ready. And they're able to rotate into the mid lane and take out their first turret.
Well, what that Tempered Fate did, it gave the Playful Trickster back to MLXG, waited out those extra couple of seconds, and he was able to get himself to safety. It was actually genius from Lei in the end, when you're exactly right, looked bad.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look like it was going well. Stopped the first part of the laser. Still think it was a little bit of a miscommunication coming through there.
I like to give him credit.
It's the difference between me and you, Atlas. Call a spade a spade.
Yeah. I'm an optimist. You're not going to take that away from me, Spawn. Not going to take it. You can't take the joy from my life.
I will try every day.
I know you have. MLXG is going to be able to clear out cheeky little ward there as he smites away some puppies as well. So he's going to have a little bit of a spirit there to help him out in this jungle.
Right under their noses, Condi able to clean that one up. And this is what I was talking about. Getting in there, uses a fish. It would have been a double knock-up.
Yeah.
And it also blocked the laser beam. I'm 100% calling that not a good ultimate from Bard.
Well, everyone did manage to get into position as well.
Oh,
MLXG
my
almost
goodness gracious.
Died. If MLXG had died, yes, I would have agreed with you, but in the end, he somehow manages to live. So I'm going to call it plan.
Oh.
Okay, at this stage, I just know that it's making you mad, so I'm continuing it. It is only about a 600 gold lead now for M3, though, so nothing to write home about. RNG have managed to claw their way back into this one, especially in the jungle. MLXG only down about 5 creeps.
And he's up 2 kills and an extra assist, so he's doing work at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Hasn't gone for the Sightstone as well, so much more combat ready on the side of RNG's jungler, and they're going to have to wait this one out. Looper still incredibly ahead. Will do a lot of work split pushing against Let Me, but map opened up. That's Vayne's Paradise. Now got the Blade of the Ruined King versus the Infinity Edge, so still needs to be a little bit careful, but should be able to take SMLZ in a fight.
Yeah, Destiny actually going to be used into the bottom lane here as well, as Dade's going to find Whoosh. He does utilize the Blade of the Ruined King as Dade getting it turned around on him. There's the Condemn, but the headbutt pulverizes there. MLX3 is going to lock down the kill. The Tumble going to get away from the Peacemaker, and RNG turn around the Destiny.
And Looper being collapsed on in the top lane as well. It looks like Zhao who's up there, although Let Me needs to get out.
Yeah, just does jump onto that cannon creep, continues rampaging these creeps as well. So RNG actually more than okay here, as there's the Onslaught of Shadows going to find Looper. He's able to use the Dragon's Descent to get himself to safety there as Gravity Field going to slow him down for a second, but it's not going to be enough here as Zhao trying to close the distance, but they just... Oh, the Tempered Fate almost gets there. But RNG have to give up the chase.
Yeah, Looper just able to run circles around the map. Do not chase the Shyvana. Will open up Dragon for M3, so they get an objective off it, but you have to say that right now, Whoosh's Vayne is getting into a very good spot to carry this game through.
Most certainly is. I'm really glad that you said don't chase the Shyvana here in reference to Looper as well, of course. The singed player of old, more than happy to be that, I guess, distraction in the top lane would be the way that I'd describe it. Jahu going to use the cleanse, but he can't cleanse the rest of it. M3 with 4 men strong. Going to try and follow the magical journey. Dade with some really nice wildcards. They're going to get a little bit more damage onto Lei, but now the pressure is on in this mid lane.
Certainly is. Siege is continuing. They bring Looper across. He is so tanky right now that a dive is a very real opportunity.
Yeah, there's the double knock-up. MLXG and Let Me tanky members, but they're not tanky enough. Dade locks down the kill onto the horse as Whoosh and MLXG have to watch the turret die.
They're actually not really tanky at this point. They've got Cinderhold and then a lot of HP on top of it, but no resistances, which means Caitlyn and all that magic AP coming through from Dade just rips them apart. And it will be an aggressive build coming out of Looper. It looks like he's had enough of these games, going for a Blade of the Ruined King. Already finished up a Cutlass.
Yeah, he's got sort of 2 resistance items, you know, Spectre's Cowl, Ninja Tabe, that'll be enough. Let's grab more damage.
Coupled with the resists that come out of the ultimate for Shyvana, actually gets a lot for very little by just getting level advantage in this game, and means that it's going to be continued pressure as Condi needs to be careful.
Yeah, there's the playful trickster as well. Body slam going to get Condi to safety as they're trying to take down this red buff. MLXG just cheeky auto attack. He's going to lock that one down. Doesn't even waste a smite that wasn't even up. So don't even worry about it. MLXG is going to spot that ward there, sweeps the brush. And M3 do have to respect this Fizz.
Yeah, so Fizz trying to zone off the turret. Lupa, meanwhile, taking the entirety of the jungle on the top side.
Yeah, Lei is going to be able to get that bottom outer turret there with the help, of course, of Wushin. 3 members strong there on the bottom side of the map. But Lupa, you're exactly right. He's the problem right now.
Yeah, and he's also a lot of the solution for M3, because as long as they can split this team comp up, make sure that Xiaohu's not getting these huge ultimates, take the skirmish advantage away from SMLZ, puts a little bit of a spanner in the work, because right now, Vayne excels at like the 2v2, 3v3, scrappy little team fights. That's what Fizz is really good at. Xiaohu wants to get his ultimates through and really zone with those abilities, but Lupa is just going to continue to run around the map and really force people to come to him, opening up the port through from Dade, making sure that they're able to affect the map the way they want to. And maybe the answer is put Woosh in Lupa's lane, but right now he's so far ahead.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to really help out too much there in that case. Destiny's going to be used one more time. MLXG is going to be the consideration, but they are going to look for Lei. Magical Journey, but he's going to get exploded back. Nice Flash is going to get him to relative safety as Woosh trying to turn it around. Lupa going to get condemned into the wall as MLXG. He's going to get caught up. Dade with the amazing Zhonya's. But that Tempered Fate was god tier from Lei. Thank goodness he survived as the Chaos Storm did a fair bit of damage, but Letme gonna die in the backline. That's a full health Caitlyn that RNG have to deal with, but in the end, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of M3.
Yeah, Dade just escapes with his life. Great heal coming through from SMLZ. And you know, we said his Caitlyn hadn't really been stepping up that much. Had been playing it a lot. All of a sudden looking fantastic in this game. 1-1-1, was able to get the early laning phase that he wanted.
And it's looking fantastic at a stage of the game where Caitlyn should look dreadful.
Yeah, exactly right. Able to chunk through because there's just no armor on the side. That's where Caitlyn really falls off after that first major armor item comes through. Hasn't been completed yet. It's actually an emblem that was coming through from MLXG, and that is very snowball. Quick Locket of the Iron Solari coming through there. 3-1-3. He's having a great game, but don't know whether it's going to be enough at this point.
Well, as we're looking at it, it's another kill onto the Vayne. So one more time, it's going to be
in a
Woosh
great position.
Yeah. See whether it is going to be enough, though, because you mentioned M3, all the members looking strong at this stage. Condi now as well, 2-2-2. He's doing fine.
And you feel that's going to be the turning point when Woosh is able to successfully 1v1 Lupa and chase him out of these lanes. Because when that happens, means that a lot of things have started to go wrong for M3. As Collapse coming into that top lane, MLXG.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Oh. Woosh is going to try and tumble away from the ace in the hole, but he can't actually do that. MLXG going to be able to lock that one down.
That was great return damage. Dade with the ultimate one more time, looking for it.
Yeah, Destiny trying to find someone here. Dade hasn't ported in just yet. 5 members strong of M3. He's actually going to just go back to the mid lane. Not quite as successful one that time around, but they can't all be good.
Yeah, it certainly can't. If you see Lei get blown up here on the back end of that fight, gets a good ultimate through, as you said, successfully locking up 3 members. But that Zhonya's right there from Dade was absolutely fantastic. And SMLZ really helping out his mid laner meant that Letme, although he kept chasing, was zoning Dade away, just wasn't able to get the work done he needed.
Yep. Couldn't make it available, but of course keeping both of their carries alive might speak okay for the late game for RNG. If they can keep Victor and Vayne doing damage.
They scale much better this time around. You know, the major problem with last game's comp was once they fell behind, they stayed behind.
Yeah.
This time around with the Hecker and with the Fizz, in fact, all 4 of their top side of the map members really do scale well with items, and Bard just always has that impact in game. Cosmic Binding, when the cooldown goes down, so easy to hit in these 5v5 team fights.
Yeah.
The ultimate, great at catching people out, but also disengaging. So right now you feel like RNG, even though they're a little bit behind, they're going to scale up incredibly well.
I actually really like Cosmic Binding with the double dives that are they're going to come in from Lupa and, of course, Love City as well. I mean, you're going to Dragon Descent, Headbutt Pulverize, and then they're going to be in the same position, Cosmic Binding, and it locks them up.
Yeah, definitely agree. Going to be able to get a lot of work, especially because people will prioritize Ninja Tavi this game because our Woosh is a big carry, and looks like another Dragon going to be started up here, this time by M3, looking for their 3rd.
Yeah, looking to try and grab themselves a movement speed buff as well. Fantastic for making those rotational plays and especially denying the Dragon away from RNG. They want to keep that 5th Dragon opportunity available there. They are going to be able to take that one down. Fish onto SMLZ, somehow snuck that one through as Wildcard's not going to find anyone. Explosive Cast going to be used, double knock-up onto the RNG tanky members. Lock into the Iron Slurry, trying to keep MLXG alive. Somehow that Peacemaker didn't land, but no one dead just yet. M3, they take the Dragon.
Engage.
Yeah, they're looking for something. But looks like M3, they say, we've got the Dragon.
Yeah, successfully disengaging. You know, they have this great kite back comp. We've already talked about TF and all the mobility he brings. SMLZ, just such long range, doesn't really care about any of the engage coming on him right now, just able to stay safe over the back end. And look like RNG wanted to rush the Baron, maybe even just the top side turret, but good rotational play coming through from M3 means it won't happen.
I guess if RNG have anything, it's a lot of Baron damage. If they actually can sit there and get it down. We'll see whether they can actually put it to any use here as M3 continue to have a fair bit of vision control. At the moment, not as aggressive vision. M3 understands they're not as far ahead as they were last time around. Destiny going to be used. Teleport actually immediately into the top side just to defend.
Yeah, and I like how MLXG is playing this Fizz as a very skirmish heavy jungler, following around Wushin, who he knows can also back him up in these 3v3s. And Dade pulls the trigger on an ultimate just to try and save top turret, although now it looks like it might go down because they're still up here trying to push it in.
Yeah, and MLXG as well. I guess he's following Woosh because M3, they probably want to follow him as well. So if MLXG wants to get any ganking done, it's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, certainly is. He's the member they need to shut down, try and catch out. Already has a QSS coming through there. Of course, doesn't really benefit early from having Blast Whisper, so able to get that item a little bit more
down the track.
Yeah, early on, and will mean that Dade isn't able to lock him up and get the start of the fight going onto the priority target.
Well, Lupa just going to continue split pushing, answering Let Me at the moment, who's still down about 60 CS to Lupa's ridiculous Shyvana.
Yeah, and wow, 2,000 gold. So the gold lead right now is Lupa.
Yeah, almost entirely. And you can see everyone else, not too much in it now, as 600 approximately for the jungler in the mid lane, actually only about 400, 300 for Condi in advantage. And that's the extra turret potentially as well, just in that alone. He's going to be 300 in the lead for Woosh though over SMLZ. That's the big deal. It's the vein for RNG that's really going to try and keep them in this one.
And we mentioned the ability to split push right now. They're dragging them all over the map, M3. They've got the Shyvana, they've got Dade as well on the Twisted Fate, going to be, wow.
Cheeky Lupa.
Even
and he's going to be able to get
the afterburn of that laser probably would have killed him. Yeah, Lupa just not respecting Xiaohu at all.
No. A little bit sad. But MLXG and Lei just going to clear out some vision in the top side of the map, where it all seems to be heating up. There's the QSS as MLXG going to use the Payful Trickster, but loves it. He finds his way, and that's a triple knock-up at his Woosh. He's going to flash out of the way. The Destiny comes in for Dade. Immediately uses Azonya's Woosh. Going to get caught by the Tempered Fate. Actually uses his own sort of Zonya's there, but it's not going to be anything good as MLXG is trying to run away, burnt down by Lupa, and M3. What an incredible engage.
What a decisive play out of Dade. Pulls the trigger on the ultimate straight away in the middle of everyone. Locks down the priority target, able to get the gold card in and the Zonyas. And now it's going to be another early Baron coming through for M3.
Yep, Dade, he's in China now, so definitely going to be making the Messiah plays as Xiaohu. He's going to get headbutt pulverized, tries to cleanse out of it, but it's a difficult one to cleanse there. He's going to be forced to flash out of the way. Both summoner spells down, but the Baron also at about 1,000 health. SMLZ helping clearing that one out, and Condi, he's going to lock it down with the smite. And RNG, they just lose a whole lot in no time at all.
Yeah, and it was really off just the back of a really clear call from M3. You could tell they wanted to fight. And we mentioned how well they played with a lead. They're able to pick a meaningful one up for the first time this game at least. Go back by and then use all that 1-3-1 split push power we talked about. Dade, Lupa in separate lanes. All of a sudden you got Caitlyn sieging up underneath your turrets with an Alistar and a Gragas to defend her. This is going to be bad things, but if we take another look at it, Dade gets in for the first one. Really good three-man headbutt pole combo coming through here. But this is the play. Gets in, stuns up Woosh, and then immediately Zonya's. Everyone gets knocked back by another good Condi ultimate. And on the back line, you see how effective Lupa is versus Let Me, who's just not having fun at all. Just continual CC, love CD, and Dade always there to really peel for SMLZ. means that the team fight goes their way.
Yeah, and Dade actually ate a gravity field and a Chum the Waters with the Zhonya's as well. Yep. So both of those really sort of high impact CCs just
and
not used that.
3 levels in the top lane.
It's insane.
We keep talking about Lupa, how well he's been playing. Uncontested now. It looks like they're pulling the trigger on a desperation fight.
Yeah, nice use of the QSS there from SMLZ. MLXG still trying to get on top of him as RNG just back out, and that was a whole lot of acronyms for
Dade can just go mid. Actually doesn't decide to, just hops a wall.
Yeah, gets over to the red one. Okay, well, Lupa is going to be able to take down an inhibitor turret, so that's probably more worth talking about, as M3 is going to set up a siege. Nice use of the Tempered Fate, going to get Lupa out of the way.
See, that's a good Tempered Fate.
Yeah.
Saves the inhibitor turret. We'll lose bottom side of the map.
Possibly the game, but it was a cool Tempered Fate.
This is what the thing that I really enjoy about Bard is that he just does things that no one else can do. Defend a turret, I'm just going to throw my ult at it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, MLXG going to try and help clear out this wave of minions.
Just methodical play from Lupa. You see, Lemmy doesn't scratch him anymore.
I don't think many people do. Blade of the Ruined King completed, now has a whole bunch of life still on top of the fact that that's a Randuin's Omen. So Lupa, now with the Cinderhulk Randuins and the Spectre's Cowl as well, giving him a bit more health.
And 4th Dragon coming up.
Ridiculous.
They do need to fight this one. It's already below half health.
Yeah, Late doesn't have the ult available, but they are going to lose the Dragon. MLXG wants to get over the wall, but he can't. Chum the Waters goes down, but he can't do anything. M3 now just turning this one around. There's the Dragon sent over the wall. So much damage from every member, but look at the Chaos Storm. That's insane from Xiaohu, but he just gets exploded for it. There's the explosive cask, and Condi one more time on the Gragas, definitely showing up here as Lei does land a pretty nice Cosmic Binding, immediately cleanse, but SMLZ can't close the distance.
Yeah, and that's 30-second death timers for everyone. Might be able to tank up this turret. Condi is incredibly beefy, and you mentioned it, his Gragas has been so impressive tonight. You have to wonder why it wasn't on the ban list for Game 2, or at least prioritized a little bit more, as once again, the Bard ultimate stops the turret. Actually goes down, so, you know, ignore me.
Stops the turret for about 3 moments. Loopy going to get stunned there as well. And look at him caring about it, guys. Can you see him caring about it? I certainly can't. Might care about this one, though. Skirmish and Saber goes down. Actually, I tell a lie. Certainly doesn't care about very much at all. Destiny going to be popped as well. Dade just going to get
2 turrets down now.
Dade just looking for a blue buff there. He's been using the Destiny on cooldown. Actually, I have a feeling that he's almost used it on cooldown every single time.
Oh, step on the flower. Dade doesn't want to give away his position.
Yeah, cute stuff. Actually, does it show up on the map?
Don't know.
No, neither do I.
But if it dies, you're like, hey, someone just stood on that.
Yeah, I guess, but if it doesn't show up on the map, then you can't see that it dies.
Huh, maybe. Have to try it out. I'll play a Bard game with you later.
Oh, cool. I'm excited about that.
I haven't played him before, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry. It's probably still better than most of my champions. Dade, with the Lich Bane now, as well as that Rabadon's Death Cap, decides that he doesn't really care about a Void Staff at the moment, wants to just amp up those auto attacks as much as possible. He's been bit of a split-pushing threat this game, taking down that inhibitor turret in the top lane, but it's mostly been these Destiny plays that have been really fantastic, and not necessarily for his damage, just for engaging the correct fight.
Yeah, it certainly is, but now he's got the Joyo threat. He's a very much assassin on this Twisted Fate now that he's picked up that Death Cap. Xiaohu, especially if his cleanse is ever on cooldown, needs to be very careful in these team fights. You see that Lei is trying to go towards a Crucible just to keep his 2 carries very safe, but with the 1-3-1 split push, it looks like the pressure is just going to mount, and Whoosh has to find a team fight right now. He's the guy that still can carry this game. Definitely is not over, but a huge gold lead, 13,000, means it's going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah, still found.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, Xiaohu. Look, we were telling that story just moments before, but it looks like Xiaohu's still with a fair bit of burst damage.
Yeah, it certainly is. MLXG goes in trying to clear out this wave.
Yeah, it doesn't find himself able to at all.
Another ultimate.
Yeah, Tempered Fate not going to find anyone though as M3 trying to turn this one around. It is 5v4. Xiaohu making his way in as well as now Lupa just going to use that Dragon's Ascent to get away, but there's the ultimate from Let Me as well. They're trying to take down the Shyvana. Raid boss being attempted is going to go down to Whoosh, and now they're trying to turn their attention to the rest of the players. Solo laners all dead as Whoosh makes his way in to take down Love CD. There's the Condemn against the wall. Double kill for Vayne. MLXG looking for Condi, but I have a feeling they'll be able to escape this one as SMLZ. Dude, you need to be careful. Okay. but
that's probably why.
Yeah, Super Creeps are going to be on the Nexus turrets here. They are going to lose one of them. So RNG are able to clear them out before they take down a second, but that is a big deal.
We mentioned the fact that, you know, even though they're 13,000 gold, now only 10 behind, RNG still have the tools to be able to win team fights, and you saw it was a beefy Shyvana frontlining, and Wushin just cut through him like he wasn't even there. Has picked up the last Whisper now, so that Thornmail not going to be doing as much work for Looper. And Woosh, he's a very good Vayne player, 6-2-2. A lot of pressure is on him to really carry through with this. Xiaohu's going to do meaningful damage as well. As we take a look at that kill that we missed in the bottom lane, this is why you don't go near brushes.
Yeah, it's also why it's very difficult when your gold card is on cooldown to be able to do anything.
Yeah, he had cleanse, he was dead.
So dead. Well, yeah, that's a good point. I was just more talking about the gold card killing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a fair bit of damage at the moment. But Xiaohu able to get the drop on him. Ace in the hole one more time. SMLZ more than happy to play a pretty non-interactive game of League of Legends at the moment with this Caitlyn.
So that was the tactic against LeBlanc all that time ago, where you just pick it and shoot LeBlanc every time because she had no health pool to speak of, and just force him out. Xiaohu, very similar situation. You saw it was nearly half of the HP of Victor gone.
Yeah.
Just from the Caitlyn ultimate, and now they have control over this Baron area with a huge dragon in the bottom lane, still farming out.
Yeah, MLXG now looking for Dade as well, as Lei's going to get stunned off. There's the headbutt pulverize. They are going to be able to get the Bard. Actually flashes out of the way of the Peacemaker. Destiny to come in here. Dade just getting himself the heck out of dodge. Actually goes into the back of the fight. MLXG might have this turned around on him now as well, as Love City going very low. The horse out of the fight. Whoosh is dead as well. M3 just spreading the fight out and taking it in little skirmishes as Lei. He's going to fall down for the triple kill for the Dragon Lady. This Shyvana now up against her lane opponent, more than happy to go toe-to-toe. 2-level advantage now as well, as the Blade of the Ruin King comes out, and look, still trying to chase down a Hecarim. That is ridiculous. Dade going to certainly help out with that one as wildcards actually go wide. Skirmisher Saber going to be used on top of Dade. Pulls out a sweet card. He's going to be able to take that one down, but meanwhile, M3 are going to win the game.
And this is the M3 people have been waiting for. Looper and Dade showing up big. SMLZ finally arriving, and they're just clicking at the right times, as even Condi had a beautiful series.
Yeah, fantastic series from everyone actually on M3. They just played a beautiful, cohesive game of League of Legends.
And two very good tactics. Yeah, two very diverse, different ones. A very big AoE kind of team fight composition. Game 1 pulled it off very well. Game 2, go for the 1-3-1 split push with this Twist of Fate that can dive the back line, and once again, played exceptionally well.
Yeah, and they picked skirmishing champions and then broke every team fight up into a series of skirmishes. There was no sort of way that RNG were able to get any fights on their terms in either of those games.
And I also really